Hey guys, Joe from the Crazy New York Driver Show. Today is Friday, August 31st, 2012. Today's video will be entirely about eBay and the upcoming get-together in Philly, which is going to be next week. We need to go over a few things, so I'm not going to be showing you any collections or any of the trivia this week. So I guess let's get right down to business. As you know, eBay on Location is next week in Philly, and I really hope to see a lot of you guys there. I do realize, however, if you're on the West Coast, there's no way you're going to make the trip over here. Frankly, I wouldn't go if it was in California either, and I don't blame you. However, I'll be bringing my camera with me, and I'll be bringing everything else I need, and I'm going to keep you in the loop. When I come back, I hope to have enough material for a 2-hour extravaganza. Maybe I'll make it two separate parts, part 1 and part 2. I don't know if you can handle 2 hours or even 1 hour of me. But what I'd like to tell you is that yes, next Friday is the day I usually put my show out, and unfortunately I'll be in Philly next Friday. So I doubt I'll be putting out a show next Friday. What I was thinking about doing was uploading some live feed at some point, right from the convention floor. Hey, I make it sound like I'm a Republican. But anyway, that's what I'm thinking of doing, but the problem with that is, if I do it through my laptop and I use iMovie, it only allows me a 10-minute upload on YouTube because I have an old version of that. I don't want to spend for the new version because I'm cheap. Or I could probably do it through my iPhone too. But my question is, with a yes or no vote, do you guys think I should upload some raw footage from the convention itself in addition to the video I make when I come back? That's my question. Okay? Comment below on that. As far as the structure of the visit, I am still working on an outline. I've been working for a week on this, and each night I change it around and I add a few things. It's basically an outline of how to make eBay a better place for sellers. A lot of my ideas and a lot of your ideas have gone into this outline. Next week before I leave, I will print it out and make quite a few copies, and I'm going to hand them out like candy down there to the powers that be. Each outline will have my name and contact number, and one of the lines specifically says, I hope to hear from you. And if I don't hear from you, you will hear from me. And I will pursue it. Okay? I want to work with the powers that be to make eBay a better place for us sellers. Alright? Some of the ideas I have, of course, like we discussed in past videos, are the fact that we should be able to leave negative feedback for a buyer who doesn't pay. I'm not even saying we have to leave it. I'd be happy if eBay left it. But people who don't pay need to be held accountable. It's just too much. Okay? And another thing that's been bugging me, as a seller, let's say you sell somebody something, they receive the item and they're not happy with it. Let's say you're willing to take returns for 14 days. The person contacts you, you agree to take it back and pay the original shipping like eBay requires. I think the seller in that case should be protected and not be allowed to get a negative feedback. I mean, after all, if someone's unhappy with the product, it's probably their fault because they didn't read the description. Alright? So, if you agree to give them their money back and their original shipping, which is what eBay requires, you're being a good seller, I think you should be protected. That's just my feeling. Another thing that's really pissing me off, I've talked about this before, are these shoppers that they'll do a buy it now on your item, then they'll navigate away from the pay screen and begin to actively shop for the same item. It's been a long-standing problem on eBay. A lot of you guys have written to me about it, and have mentioned it in comments. They'll bid on your item. They'll do a buy it now, $50. Then the next day they'll write to you and say, please cancel the bid. Then when you check their history, you see 5 or 10 minutes later they found the same item cheaper. There's nothing wrong with shopping, but shopping is to be done before you bid, before you do the buy it now. It's a binding commitment. I never, ever cancel sales. While I'm on that subject, let me tell you a true story that happened to me. An object lesson. I never cancel sales, period. That's my rule. I will make an exception. A guy does a buy it now for an item. It was cheap. It was maybe $30. All right? After that, he contacts me and says, oh, gee, I hope this item is so-and-so works with this. I said, no, you bid on the wrong thing. He says, well, will you cancel a transaction? I said, I will if you're going to buy the correct item. And he did buy it. So I cancel a transaction. And I ship all my small items in these baseball card envelopes. It wasn't a baseball card, though, just so you know. And anyway, I thought the matter was closed. So just the other day, I get a negative feedback from this guy. And it consisted of these words: great item, fast shipping, with a red dot next to it. I'm like, what the hell is this? So I write to the guy. I said, why'd you leave me negative feedback? And the guy, well, before the guy even writes back to me, I check it out, and he leaves me a negative feedback for an item that he wanted canceled. I sent him the cancel request. He canceled it. All right? So rather than dick around with him, I call eBay customer service, because I know when you cancel a transaction the guy didn't pay, they'll remove it. And sure enough, they did remove it. And I called them instantly, within a minute. They said, no problem. They removed it. And they said, it looks like he made a mistake, a legitimate mistake, because he left me a positive comment, but with a negative rating. So he writes back to me in the meantime and says, I left you a good comment. I said, you left me a negative. I said, but don't worry, I had eBay remove it already. I mean, that's just one of those things. That's my point to you. Never cancel a transaction, because they can still neg you. All right? Trust me on that. The worst ones, and some of you people have written to me about this before, are you guys who agree to cancel a transaction and then the guy refuses to cancel it. Meaning, he refuses to pay for your item. He tells you, I want to cancel a transaction. You foolishly agree to it. Then he turns the tables on you and says, no, I want the item, because that's the sign of a professional scammer. Then you can't open a claim against him once he does that, and he can neg you. So please, guys, don't ever cancel a transaction. It's very important. I want to keep today's video a lot shorter than normal, because you're going to be seeing a lot of me in the week or two to come. So, let's just talk one more time about eBay on Location. eBay on Location is being held next week in Philly. I will be there, and I hope a lot of you will too. Be a great chance to meet some of you, even though I don't know what most of you even look like. So if any of you are there and you see me, come up and say hi, okay? And that's basically it. I might upload some short footage from the floor if you guys want to see it. Otherwise, I'll make a long video when I get back, which will be whenever. Remember, I'm Crazy New York Driver, you're not. Thanks for watching. See you guys in Philly. Oh, and if you have any last minute comments of questions you want me to ask them, or statements, or any ideas, you can keep leaving them. You can leave them right up until next week. I don't care, because I'll be online down there. I have my iPhone, my laptop. I'm never out of touch. All right?